Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Storm here. And by the title and thumbnail, I'm sure that you already know what we're going to be talking about. It is the brand new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. That is a mouthful to say. This is what the product looks like. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's jump right into the review and demo. Do I look like I've been sitting on the beach? Well, don't mind my shoulders because them joints is pale, but my face from the neck up. Do I look like I've been vacationing in Barbuda, you know, on the beach, sipping Mai Tais? Let's jump into the demo. So you already know what we're here to talk about, and we are talking about the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer. So this is the outside packaging. It has that old Hollywood feel to it, just very luxurious, and you just want to put your hands and fingers all over it. And this is the inside of the bronzer. I want to blind you guys. It's actually reading a little bit darker on camera, but in person it's a good medium color. So I got the color 310, and like I said, on camera it looks a teensers darker than it is in person. We will be doing some swatches in just a second. This is the box that it comes in. Again, same Hollywood style on the outside, old Hollywood at that. Like I said, it just makes you feel like you want to be smoking a cigarette, like one of those out of those cigarette holders, like waiting for my champagne. That is exactly how this bronzer makes me feel, like the packaging anyway. For you guys, the box that it came in was the inside. Very Charlotte Tilbury luxe, and you get your little nice packaging. I really appreciate a company that goes the extra mile with packaging. Let's jump into the swatches. So I'm going to swatch it against some of the bronzers that I've been loving and some of them that are just in my collection, and against one of the other bronzers that Charlotte Tilbury has made in the past. We have the Tower 28 in Bronzino. I really like this color. It's a really warm, like, you know, sunlit bronzer. And then we have the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Honey Glaze. And then we have the Kosas Bronzer in Medium. And then we have the Fenty bronzer. So we have them both in Beige and Gal and Caramel Cutie. So we're going to be swatching those. And then lastly, against the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm palette. That's what that looks like. And there is a bronzer right in there on that side. So we're going to be swatching that as well. First, like I said, I got the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the color 310. This is the second to darkest color. I do think she could add some more color into her range just to, you know, kind of include everybody. I know bronzer can look different on people. Some people like their bronzers darker, some people like their bronzers lighter, but I think she could use a color in between a couple of the shades. So like I said, that's what the inside looks like. Let's go ahead and give it a big swatch. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury swatched. That's the tan color. We'll do the bronzer from the Glowgasm palette. Do the Charlotte Tilburys right next to each other, going right with that bronzer color. It's lighter and more red based than the Airbrush Bronzer in tan, with the Kosas in the medium color. It's a little bit lighter, more of an orange-based color. We're going with Caramel Cutie from Fenty. This is a totally different color. That one's a little bit deeper, which is interesting. You have Beige and Gal from Fenty. Then we'll just put that right there. Oh, that one's a little bit more red-based. That's really interesting. We're gonna go in with the cream bronzers and then we'll jump into the demo. And with Honey Glaze from Fenty, keeping it all in the Fenty family, right in that area. Wow, there's Honey Glaze. And we have the Tower 28 in Bronzino. That makes me think of Benzino from Love and Hip Hop. I don't know if you guys watch Love and Hip Hop, but definitely makes me think of his name. So go ahead and just watch it. It's really creamy. It's a cream bronzer, so of course it's gonna be creamy. So let's watch that one right there. And you can see that one is a little bit more red. So I'll pull it back so you guys can see. So go in order. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in Tan. Then this is the bronzer from the Glowgasm palette from Charlotte Tilbury. And then this is the Kosas bronzer in Medium. This one is Caramel Cutie from Fenty. Then this one is Beige from Fenty. And then this one is the Honey Glaze from Fenty. You have the Tower 28 in the color Bronzino. So those are all interesting colors for bronzer, just to give you a comparison. And I really love the cream bronzers lately. I've been just using those quite a bit. Let's jump in with the demo. Lots of people have been talking about the size of this, and this is huge. I do have the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I've only bought one. I don't know. I'm not that crazy about it. She needs a lot more colors in the powder, but I have hit pan. It turns my foundation a weird color depending on which foundation I use it with, but I'm just using it for a size comparison. So that is how big the bronzer is. It's kind of like half of that powder. The component being this big, you have lots of real estate to just go ahead and dip your brush in there and it fits perfectly. So it makes sense that it's also this big too, because it's for the body. So you can dip your brush in there and just, you know, hit your shoulders. So you just look like, you know, you've been laying out in the sun. The powder is very fine, very finely milled. I don't want to take a lot, but I'm assuming that I've already taken a lot. Ooh. I did put quite a bit on the brush, but that's not the powder's fault. It's my fault because I'm extra AF. But we gonna blend it out. We gonna work with it. This is the Sonia G Face Pro. I love this brush for putting on bronzer because it covers a lot of real estate very quickly. Rolled my brush 2 to 3 times in the pan, and that's just one application. Now let's go to the other side. Oh, it's really flawless, like the name suggests, but it just blends into the skin really effortlessly, and I love that. Oh my goodness. Now for my forehead, I do need a bronze forehead because we need to bring it from a 5 head down to a regular size forehead. So I like to use the Wayne Goss Holiday brush from this year. I love how the component is so big that almost every brush that I have in there just fits so perfectly. Right, let's go in and do the forehead. Do the forehead. Getting a little carried away, but I love the formula of this powder. If she could come out with some more colors in the powder version of this, oh my gosh, I would be in love. Because I feel like I can just put the powder all over my face. Because it's so light. Oh my goodness. Alright. What do you guys think? I cannot help myself. It just... I'm acting like I'm eating food over here, but I am in love with this formulation and the color. I feel like the color really matches really well with my skin. For the rest of my face, I'm stick to the Charlotte Tilbury family. I'm going to use the Glowgasm palette, so grab the blush and highlighter out of this palette. For blush, I'm going to go in with the Cheek Classic from Sonia G and just like dip my brush into both of these and then just pop it right on the cheeks. Everything is melting together really nicely though. I love that. Looks like I tried really hard on my makeup, but I didn't. Like, you see how everything is just sculpted and melted together in this area? I'm impressed. Alright, now let's go in with some highlighter. Going right there with that gold highlighter. Oh! Every time I use this palette, I always forget how much I love this highlighter. It's like a really nice gold color. So, we are wearing a full face, well, almost a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. Everything on the cheeks is Charlotte Tilbury. So we have the bronzer, the blush, and highlighter, all Charlotte Tilbury, and they are blending together flawlessly. Like, I love that highlight. And I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts on the bronzer. I am in love with this bronzer. I think she just might have done something with this bronzer. It's a gander at everything and how it came together. So I went a little bit heavy-handed, but you can go a little bit lighter. But I love that, like, you know, sculpted, I have makeup on look because my eyes are done and I want my cheeks to match. This bronzer is very buildable. So you can start off with a light hand and build it up to this intensity. The color is just, I don't know, the color is really a good mix of all of my favorite bronzers all in one. It's not too light, it's not too dark, it's not too neutral, and it's not too warm, so it does not make me look orange. It's like everything you want from a bronzer. I'm floored, like totally floored. So as I said, she can use some colors in between, but I think if you are my shade or 1 to 2 shades darker, the tan would work for you, and then she does have one deeper than this. I was going in between getting the tan and the deeper version, but I want a bronzer, not a contour, and I don't want something that I have to like go over quite a bit to share it out. I like buildable. I like a little bit of product and then you add on to, you know, build your own adventure. And I'm definitely a fan. Like, oh my gosh. I hate that I'm fangirling out right now because this is only a first impressions, but the camera is not lying. Can you guys see? Talk about pricing a little bit. The price of this bronzer is $55. It is a little bit steep while you are comparing the other ones like Fenty that's around $35, but think about the amount of product that you're getting in this bronzer. So you're getting 16 grams or 0.56 ounces. It is really a huge component. Another thing that she did that's really brilliant is you can pop out the bronzer. So you can pop out the powder and just buy refills. And I believe the refills are going to be $35 to $40. I love that idea. So you see the little keyhole in the back right there. I think that a lot of other companies should do that as well, because once you're done with using your product and you hit pan and you use it up, which has become a rare thing in the beauty community because we are just like consumption machines, but once you hit pan on something, you have to throw the entire thing out. Well, not the ones with the mirror, because I'll definitely throw this in my bag to use as a mirror on the go. But think about like the Fenty bronzers or anything like that. I know that Tower 28 has gone minimal packaging, so once you are done with the product and you toss it out, it's not as much waste, but it's still waste. So if you like the bronzer and you are going to be using it, which I see myself using it quite a bit in the future, but repurchasing it, you can always just buy that refillable component. So I think that's a genius idea. Like, hats off to you, Charlotte. It's a yes for me, 5 stars. I think it's a beautiful combination of all of the bronzers that are in my collection. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.